So we are officially 4 weeks into the NFL season, and there's been some great storylines, and specifically the rookies. Jaden Daniels is 3-1 for the Washington Commanders. Malik Neighbors is on pace to have one of the best rookie seasons of all time. And Caleb Williams, well, he has a 500 record. Notice that I haven't mentioned a defensive player though. So have all the defensive rookies been just underwhelming this year? Well, kind of, at least for the big names. It's not that they've been doing horrible, it's just none of them have really popped out in a major way this season. But one has slipped through the cracks. And honestly, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about him. And it's kind of head scratching because you can't miss him when he's on the field. Today, we're going to be talking about the ass kicker, TVondre Sweat, defensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans. Make sure to like the video. And if you guys love NFL content just like this, subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a bunch. We greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into the video. TVondre Sweat is a nose tackle out of Texas. He's 6'4", 366 pounds. I want to start off with my initial thoughts on TVondre Sweat coming out of Texas. When I threw on the film of TVondre Sweat, there was highs and lows. You will see him absolutely destroy offensive linemen. But here's the key thing. You wouldn't see him destroy them consistently. There was definitely times during the game where he just took the play off. And towards the end of the game, you can tell the guy just ran out of gas. And I mean, it was understandable. He's a big boy. But going into the NFL, that's not going to fly. That was con number 1 for me. Con number 2, he just looked a little bit too heavy. Coming into the draft, he was listed in at 366. On film during the college season, I would say he was more around 380. So when you take all of this stuff into account, what do you have? To me, he was a 2-down player. He would have to come off the field on 3rd down, and he really had no pass rushing ability. He was a run stuffer, one-trick pony. And don't get me wrong, these guys are much needed in the NFL. He's not unvaluable. But when you take into account the stuff on the field, the flags that he had, and the off-the-field issues, I'm not going to get too much into detail with it, but just know that it was big enough for his draft stock to plummet. I bet you a lot of teams took him off their board. But obviously, the Tennessee Titans weren't one of those teams. The Tennessee Titans drafted him in the 2nd round. And honestly, it was very high for a guy like him. But 4 weeks into the season, I'm telling you right now, TVondre Sweat is an absolute fucking beast. And due to his success, I think it's 2 things that we should mainly point out here. Number 1, he lost weight. He's probably in the best shape of his life right now. Number 2 is this guy right here. He's the defensive line coach for the Tennessee Titans, Tracy Rocker, and he's very well respected around the league. I did a little bit of digging on some of the guys that Tracy has coached over his coaching career. So this is including guys in college and in the pros. And we're just going to stick to defensive tackles. Here's the list. Jarrell Casey, Nick Fairley, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter. The ones that stick out to me the most is Jarrell Casey, Nick Fairley, and Jalen Carter. Jarrell Casey was the defensive tackle coming out of USC, who was very raw. But with Tracy getting his hands on him, Jarrell Casey turned into an all-pro caliber type player. When Nick Fairley was tearing it up in Auburn, who was the defensive line coach? Tracy Rocker. Javon Hargrave, his best career year ever that earned him a fat contract with the 49ers. Who was the D-line coach? Tracy. Jalen Carter, rookie year, who looked absolutely amazing. Who was the defensive line coach then? Tracy Rocker. This guy's track record speaks for itself. And I think he plays a crucial role on why TVondre Sweat is having so much success right now. Look, obviously when you turn on the film, just like his Texas days, this guy dominates offensive linemen. But there's a big difference when you're dominating college football offensive linemen than NFL offensive linemen. All right, let me show you some plays where it's just his bread and butter, that he's probably been doing this his whole life. And it's just him eating up space. It's demanding double teams. It's him causing cutback lanes. It's just him clogging up everything. It's what he does best. We've seen this at Texas. We know he can do this in his sleep. But it just brings supreme confidence when you're doing this on the NFL level. And this is why I wanted to say this in the beginning of the video. Like, these guys are valuable in the NFL. I'm not saying they're not valuable. But the elite guys, like a guy like Vita Vea, you would want them to be able to do this, of course, but then be special as far as making plays on third down on a passing down or making plays in space. All right, I want to take a look at this Monday night game against the Miami Dolphins, where Sweat probably had his best game as a rookie. It's going to be a little inside handoff to the right, and Austin Jackson, number 73, the right tackle, is going to try to block Sweat here. As you can see, he sheds him immediately and makes the tackle in the backfield. This is a 350-plus man moving like this. And when I'm seeing plays like this, it just makes me more confident that this guy is in the best shape of his life. I don't see him taking plays off anymore. Let's look at this play where he really does have to keep contained and make a play on the edge. Destroys the offensive lineman, makes the play in the backfield. And I'm telling you guys, there's countless plays in this guy's film where he's making plays like that. Okay, I want to take a look at this play right here. It's against the Chicago Bears. It's the first game of the year. And this was one of the first plays that really popped out to me that made me pay attention to TVondre Sweat. This is going to be an obvious passing down. Sweat is going to rush the passer, and what he's going to do, collapse the pocket. And what does that make Caleb Williams do? He's going to have to roll out. And he's going to have to make a tough play on the run. Why? Because that big motherfucker in the middle is collapsing the pocket. I love to see it. He's making himself valuable after first and second down. He's making himself valuable on a passing down. Another thing I see also is I love the way that he's using his hands on his pass rush. You can tell he was working on that in the offseason, and it's paying off in the biggest ways. And you can just tell the Tennessee Titans want to keep this guy on the field as much as possible, especially when you see a 350-plus lineman going out in coverage. I know it can kind of be funny, but I think it really does show on even more of a reason why this guy is in the best shape of his life. The fact that his coaching staff has the confidence in him to put him in coverage. And some of the play situations when it comes to this film, it's later on in the game where you're supposed to be tired. So if you're not in shape, a big guy like TVondre Sweat, you're going to eventually die down when the biggest plays have to be made. But that's just not the case for him. He looks great. He looks energetic. He looks so fresh out there on the field. Him just being a gap stuffer, he's going to be in the league for a very long time, and he's going to be valuable. But man, if he can continue to just show us somewhat of a pass rush ability, this kid's going to be very special. I'm loving what I'm seeing from TVondre Sweat. I think the Tennessee Titans knocked it out of the park with him, and it's a great situation for him. He has a very good veteran leader in his locker room in Jeffrey Simmons. He's been there. He's done that. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. And TVondre Sweat is probably around this guy 24/7. Because I'm telling you right now, if I had to do an all-rookie list right now, TVondre Sweat is a no-brainer to be on there. But what do you guys think of TVondre Sweat? Especially if you're a Tennessee Titans fan. Go ahead and comment down below and tell me your thoughts. And if you guys love NFL content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We do NFL videos just like this. We do film breakdowns, and we also even do a podcast. So make sure to subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. We greatly appreciate all the love and support that we get. Until the next one, I'm out. Peace.